All right, so we have another inequality that we are going to solve and graph. And so what we are saying is that we have -6 and it is going to be greater than or equal to whatever the value of n is minus 5. So what we're trying to do is find which set of numbers would make this a true statement. So I have PEMDAS written over here. Remember that our goal is to get our variable isolated, meaning that we have n on one side of the inequality, and then our value is going to be on the other side of the inequality. So if we are adding or subtracting to get a step closer to isolating our variable, we need our value to become 0. Okay, so we're going to use inverse operations. And then if we are multiplying or dividing, we're going to do the same thing, but we want our value to become 1. All right, so I see that n is not by itself because we are subtracting 5. So what we're going to do is add 5 to both sides. When we do that, I have -6, +5. They're going in different directions. That means that we need to use subtraction. So 6 minus 5 gives me 1. 6 is the larger number, and it has a negative sign attached to it. All right, so we are saying that -1 is going to be greater than or equal to whatever the value of n is, and -5, +5 cancels out. So we're saying that our value has to be anything that is greater than, well, I'm sorry, -1 has to be greater than or equal to whatever the value of n is. So let me give you an example. Let's draw a number line. So we'll draw a number line here. I'm going to put 0 in the middle. Where will we find -1? -1 is going to be on the negative side. So I'm going to go over here and make this -1. Okay. What we're saying again is that -1 has to be greater than or equal to n. Okay. So what if we, let's say something that's going to be where -1 is greater. Well, remember, as you move to the right, you're moving into greater numbers or larger numbers. As you move to the left, you are moving into smaller numbers or less in terms of value. So what if we made that -2? So let's plug that in. What if we had -1 is greater than or equal to, and replace n with -2, which would be over here on the left-hand side, right? So that would be -2. Is this a true statement? Is -1, sorry, not +2, -2. Is -1 greater than or equal to -2? Yeah, it is. It's greater than because it's to the right of the -2. So yes, this is a true statement. So how will we graph that? Remember how we talked about those circles, right? So we have our open circles and we have our closed circles. And so our open circles means that we are talking about less than or greater than. If we have our closed circles, it means that it can also include whatever value it is that we're circling in. So it could be less than or equal to, or it could be greater than or equal to. So the difference is if we see that line underneath, that means that it can also include that value, then we need to shade that circle in. So first things first, we need to figure out where does our circle need to be. We have -1, so I'm going to put my circle over -1. Now, is that an open circle or closed circle? So I see that it is including -1, so I'm going to shade that in. And where would I find all the values that are going to be where n is going to be less than -1? Well, all the values that will make this a true statement are going to move to the left. Okay, so this is what our answer would look like to show that all the values that will make this a true statement are going to be to the left of -1.